With spring approaching and the buyer season coming in, a lot of people are going to put their houses on the market for resale. But if you don't have your house set up the proper way to attract buyers, you could end up 70, 80, even 100 days on market without even an offer. So you need to get your house prepared and ready to go. So we are at a split level home here in Sonia Heights in Warner Robins, and we're going to walk through this house real quick and show you around and show you some of the things that these sellers are doing and things that worked and things that didn't. And we're going to show you how to get your house prepared for the upcoming selling season so you can be prepared to get your house sold fast. So come on. So when buyers come and look at your house, the first thing they're going to do is check out the curb appeal. So one thing that could definitely be done with this house, and I would suggest it for you too, is make sure that you have a landscaper, or if you're moving someplace locally, come by, mow the grass, and just make sure to clean up the hedges, because their first impression is going to determine whether your buyers get out of the car or if they even make an offer. So as we walk into this house, the sellers have already cleaned up and moved out, which is a good advantage because it's a little bit more difficult to sell a house when the sellers are actually occupying it. Now, this house has already done a few updates. They've got the updated countertops, glass stove, new sink. So there's a little bit of updating already been done to this house. Now, another thing that I mentioned a lot of is housekeeping, making sure the house is as clean as possible. And this one's got a few stains on the floor that need to come up, which is not a big deal, but it just kind of takes away from the psychological appeal. Now this house has got hardwood floors all throughout. If you've got carpet, make sure that you evaluate that carpet to make sure that it's going to be serviceable, it looks good. If it's got more than one or two light stains, it'd probably be best to go ahead and change it out. Something like carpet, paint, those are cheap fixes that you can get your money back out of when the house sells. Now this is a split level home here, which is actually coming back into popularity because these were built in the 70s and 80s, and more people are becoming interested in vintage, which this is what it is. And the house is designed in more of a compartmentalized fashion where you've got a distinct area private for the family, a distinct area for the public areas like the kitchen and the living room. And then you've got the basement, which can actually be more bedroom space, or it can be a family room that the public doesn't have access to. Now, the original design of this house actually has the master suite in the upstairs area, which has a half bath and then a full bath in the hallway for everyone else. So this one is actually a 3, 2.5, because there is a bathroom downstairs, but I'll show you that in a minute. Now it does look like they've done a little bit of repainting, which is definitely helping in the appeal of the house. But one thing that most people miss, I don't do windows, is not the proper answer when you're trying to sell a house. So painting the trim and then trimming the paint is almost a must. Now, if you're lucky to find one with the original tile tub and tile floors, these have been indestructible for years. And even though you may not like the color, it's still a very durable bathroom. And this can actually be acid etched and repainted. If you find the right contractor that knows how to do it, it's not hard to change the color. Now this one actually had an upgraded countertop in the sink, but is missing a drawer. Now this is one thing that I would suggest is simple things that are obvious to the buyers. You want to go ahead and change those out, because just like your English teacher, the more mistakes they find, the more they're going to look. Split level homes are becoming more popular again, partially because the people that bought them the first time in the 70s and 80s are moving into more senior accommodating facilities. So they're coming on the market, and people that have a sense of nostalgia enjoy the sentiment. Now here's an example of an easy fix. Somebody let the soap in the shower, and over time, the water washed it down into the floor, which is unappealing to the buyers. So a professional cleaner can take care of this real quick and make it a whole lot more appealing for your buyers. And then another thing that you might want to consider when you're selling your house, make sure that obvious repairs get fixed. Now this looks like a little bit of water damage, so this drywall needs to be cut out and make sure that there's no issues in the back, because structural issues like this are the kind of thing that will scare a buyer away. Now in this example, with this house being a split level, this lower level is a concrete slab. So it's easy to put down LVP, which really looks good on this house because it matches fairly closely to the original flooring upstairs. Now, a lot of houses that have had people living in them for 20 or 30 years are always going to have some kind of modification or add-ons, which this one has a back patio on the lower level, which looks really good. So one thing that you want to make sure of is make sure that the window is going to get changed, and make sure that there's no foundation cracks or cracks in the walls. It may be a settling crack, it may not be an issue, but it will raise questions. So make sure that you have those answers ready for your buyers. Now again, the example that we're walking through right now is a split level home, which normally on the lower level is reserved for the family, private stuff. But this one has actually been converted to, looks like a master suite. So they have the bedroom with the closet, and then they have the den on the side for all office, workout, private, anything. And then their full bathroom, which makes the lower level could be used as a complete master suite, which in these days are actually becoming more popular to have a large master suite area. Now, one more thing that I did forget to mention, and it's probably one of the most important things. You're selling your house that you've been in for 10, 20, maybe 30 years, and you're used to it. You're used to the field. You're used to the smells. That is going to be the big thing. If the house has a smell to it, and I'm not talking about old smells or a little bit of moldy smells. I mean, you let the trash out all night, or you've got your trash compactor has been impacted for 2 weeks. Make sure that you have somebody else that you trust come over, walk in, and be brutally honest. If it has a smell that's unappealing, buyers are going to get shut down immediately. So make sure you cover that part as well. And then on the outside, your buyers are definitely going to look at the shrubbery and the landscape to make sure it's all clean and nice. And the roof and air conditioner are going to be a major, major decision maker for your buyers. So make sure that if your house has a roof that is older than 10 years old, go ahead and have it inspected and check it for condition and wear, because 10-year-old roofs can be completely worn out and 20-year-old roofs can still be perfectly good depending on where the house is and the conditions of the weather in your area. And then, of course, the air conditioner is the same way. Make sure to have it serviced. Make sure to have somebody come check it out and tell you whether or not it's still in good condition or if it needs work. And then you can go ahead and take care of that before you list the house. Now, one more tip. When you're selling your resale house, make sure that you turn on all the utilities. I know it costs money. I know you might not want to spend the money, but a buyer walking in and the lights don't come on or the water doesn't come on, that's going to leave questions in their head. Is there something wrong, or are they just being cheap? So keep in mind to turn on the water, turn on the utilities, simply because part of the agreement when you list a house is to make sure that all utilities are on and usable. If it can't be turned on, then that's a conversation you need to have with your listing agent. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this little tour of this split level home in Sonia Heights, Warner Robins. Now, if you're interested in listing your house and you're in the Warner Robins area, make sure to reach out to me. My information is in the description below, and we'll come up with a game plan and the best marketing strategy to get your house sold fast. And I'll talk to you on the next video.